before the Texans and Packers matchup, Stefon Diggs got into a scruffle with the Packers cornerback Jair Alexander. This led many Packer players to go after Diggs, and nobody on the Texans stuck up for Diggs. Diggs said after the game that he has never been a bigger person. DeMarco Ryans said he wishes Diggs was a bigger person in the altercations. Jair Alexander called Diggs a little boy for not addressing him after the game. Both players have previous altercations 2 years ago when Diggs was playing for the Bills. Diggs had 108 in that matchup, but only 23 this week versus the Packers. First of all, Jair Alexander is a very likable person. If anybody knows who Jair Alexander is, he's all over. In the offseason, he donates a lot of his time to raise money for his organizations. He is a really kind soul. He really is. Anybody. Now, he does speak. He's a corner. All these corners speak. You're going to tell me Sauce Gardner doesn't speak? He's been known to speak. They're all the good corners are going to speak. But as a person, Jair Alexander is a man. And Jair came out and he said, listen, if you thought that I did something wrong, address it at the end of the game. We will speak about it. We'll be men. And we walk away. We shake hands. Stefon Diggs is a little boy. He really is. He's a little boy. It's perfect. Jair Alexander said it perfectly right. This man or boy has gone to many different organizations. Minnesota, he had a problem, an altercation with a backup quarterback that did nothing but throw you the ball. You didn't like that Adam Thielen was getting the ball more than you were because you weren't open. And then you go over there and you're seeing the ball 14, 15 times a game by Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, who's been nothing but a good Samaritan, a good person to the league and for the players and everything, for all the people that have taken shots at him, throw him under the bus. GQ, you had Ramsey come out and say that he wasn't going to be a good quarterback in the NFL when he didn't even step on a football field. And you addressing all these different things over the last couple of years, you and your stupid brother, who, by the way, stinks, okay? Stinks with the Cowboys. That secondary is absolutely disgusting, all right? Here's what I'm going to say about Stefon Diggs. He should have never, I repeat, should have never been brought over there to the Texans. You have C.J. Stroud, who's a young quarterback. He's a growing quarterback. He's got a tremendous amount of talent around him. Tank is not getting Dell is not getting the ball as much as he should be because Diggs has to be force-fed the ball, because if he's not force-fed the ball, he's going to complain and cry about it. They have Nico Collins, who's one of the better, more young, strong, speedy wide receivers in the NFL, who's not healthy right now, but he is a good number one. There was no reason to bring Stefon Diggs down. Now, as far as Jair Alexander and what he said, I don't know what he said. I don't care what he said. You're a professional football player. Deal with it. You're making millions and millions of dollars. You're both superstars. The fact is after the game, during the game, you can hate each other. After the game, you speak to one another, you settle things, and you become men. And you treat this as not just as a boys' game, a men's game. If I was right now the Texans organization, or I was DeMeco Ryans, I would absolutely pull Diggs to the side and say, this is why your teammates didn't come to your offense. This is why your teammates stepped back and realized that you were at fault for this altercation. You have to be the bigger man. Show your team. You're a leader. You're going out there. Everybody says he's become a leader of the team. How are you becoming a leader when you're starting a fight on the court, on a field, and your players, your own teammates aren't coming to your offense? That says a lot about his leadership. That says a lot about who he is and what the league sees him to be. It is despicable what he has said and what he has been over the years to the NFL and what he has done to organizations after he's left.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a previous rivalry too with this fight.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Even going back even further, but even so, like Jair Alexander had like one notable incident of like, what the hell is he doing? Is when he didn't come out as a captain, I think 2 years ago when he was with the Packers.
I remember that.
For the coin toss. That was the one thing they said, all right, maybe there's a little controversy going on with Jair Alexander not being a great leader. Diggs has had multiple occasions of this, and now him saying, I'm never the bigger person. Yeah, we knew that for a while. There's a reason that the Bills didn't want you there, and the Bills are playing better without you. And yes, shout out Jamie Lee. Jair is the man. Stefon Diggs is a crybaby. Jamie Lee, a big Packers fan, and he's happy that the
But
Packers
he is. He really is a good Samaritan. If you read everything about Jair Alexander, he is a good person. He really is a good person off the field. Have you heard anything about the Diggs family, that they're good people? They're not.
No.
They start fights. They argue. They bicker. They don't care about the teammates. They care about themselves. They're me players. Jabba, you know all about me players. You've played with some me players. I'm sure you have over the years. Those are players that you just don't want to play for. You don't want to stick up for over the years. So I just think it's despicable. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Speedy.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the Texans had to bring in some veteran leadership for an overly accelerated young team from last year. The breakout team of last year, they made the playoffs. They won a playoff game when nobody expected them to, and they brought in some veteran leaders. Joe Mixon has been a guy that's been a good stabilizer as a veteran leader coming from the Bengals. Daniil Hunter coming from the Vikings on the defensive side has been a good veteran leader. But who's not been a good veteran leader? Stefon Diggs. And DeMeco Ryans cannot let this get out of hand further, where it's going to start them being alienated again, because that's the same thing that happened with
Look
the
at
Bills.
CJ Stroud's numbers. Look how down they are. Why are they down? Why? Watch the game. I mean, anybody watching the game? He's force feeding the ball to Stefon Diggs. He never had to do that last year with Nico Collins or Tank Dell. Tank Dell got hurt in the beginning of the season. I think 7-8 games. But even with Nico Collins, he spread the ball out. Schultz got a big contract because of what he did last year. Their running game, even with Singletary, Singletary wasn't a star running back. He did enough to help that team and help his growth. What has Diggs done for CJ Stroud besides hurt him? Go look. He's thrown, 8 interceptions this year? He threw 8 interceptions the whole season last year.
He's had 2 good games out of 6 games this year. It's pretty bad.
It's bad. It's been real bad.
I just think, too, you got to understand in the aspect of what it comes to. Between the lines, I don't have to like you. But at the end of the day, I understand how hard it is, and I respect you. And if somebody comes up, and we will never know what was truly, genuinely said. It is all hearsay because there's only 3 people that know it. Him, and him. And so you don't truly, genuinely know what was said, but still, you can talk garbage to me between the lines and whatever, but at the end of the day, if I see you out, I'm going to mutual respect and be like, hey, great AB, or hey, great coverage on that play, or what, and it's just an understanding of how hard it is to do what we do, where I don't have to like you. I don't have to be the first one to invite you to dinner, to my wedding, or to whatever, but I'm going to respect you. And that is just part of what it is. And, obviously there is a history of him not being the most accountable or appreciative person, I guess, is trying to find the right adjective that would
definitely not accountable, that's for sure.
Right.
He's a moron. That's what he is.
And so that's just one of the things. And
there's
guys you played with and you've shared locker rooms with, that it's them. And that's all right. That's fine. But that doesn't mean I don't respect you. I don't have to invite you to my son's birthday party, but but I'm gonna fight and claw. And then even if you're it was crazy because it was always oh, you must hate the Red Sox and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, because I have do I like them between the lines? No, but I have respect because I know how hard this is to do. And I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to try to show you up if you think it is. But that's to your point. It's be men and have the conversation. That was a big thing because when I first came up, it was a 9 to 5. And when I started fist pumping, people were like, oh, this ain't how you do it. This isn't this. And I was like, I'm not trying to show anybody up. I just have passion and wear my heart on the sleeve. So I'm not trying to show anybody up. One of my greatest things is at the old stadium, I was facing Frank Thomas and I punched him out in a big situation. And he comes up as we're walking up the stairs at the old stadium and he puts his arm around me. I thought he was going to choke me out, if I'm being perfectly honest. I was like, he's about to give me the business. And and he was like, hey, kid, keep being yourself. And I was like, all right, that's all I need. And it's just a mutual, because he knew I wasn't trying to show him up. It's just emotion. And when you let that get ahead of you and then you become either offended or whatever it is, and now you want to disrespect somebody, I have no place for that. Like, I may not like you, but I'll shake your hand and be like, good game, great play, huge at bat, huge play. Like, it has to be a mutual respect on both ends.
I think that's awesome. I think that story is awesome because it shows you what kind of player Frank Thomas was and the respect that he had, no matter who he was facing against, and what kind of pressure that youngster was going to have after just reacting for striking out Frank Thomas. I mean, I just struck out Frank frigging Thomas, one of the greatest power hitters of that era. So that's a sensational story. But here's the thing, also, C.J. Stroud. He threw 5 interceptions all season last year. He already has 4. Okay, just think about that. There's still what, not 10 games left. He is going to throw a lot more interceptions because he's going to be force feeding the ball to Stefon Diggs. And why? Because Stefon Diggs is a crybaby. I think this was a terrible move for the organization. And D'Amico Ryans, who I love, I think D'Amico Ryans is one of the likable coaches we've seen in the NFL in a very long time. I could see where, his growth as a coach, as a leader, and just what he stands for. It is really cool to watch the success of D'Amico Ryans and his growth as a head coach, even as a defensive coordinator coming from San Francisco. But this story is only going to get worse. If this team is a borderline playoff team trying to squeak into the playoffs, if one of these other teams like Indiana figures it out, or one of these other teams in the division figures it out and challenges them, what's going to happen when things start to go wrong? How are they going to deal with this guy in the locker room? That's what I'm worried about.
So I never met somebody that doesn't want to be the bigger person. When I was in college, and this is a funny story that I just thought of, there was this time that I got out of the cab and I was in a fraternity, and one of my fraternity brothers was getting in a fight at our local bar that we used to go to all the time, which we can't have because we still want to go there. So I go up to him, and I knew the guy he was fighting with separately, and I go, hey man, you just got to be the bigger person right now. Yeah, I heard him. You heard him. I didn't hear anything. I heard him. You got to be the bigger person. Walk away. Go get some pizza, man. I can get here's a couple of bucks. Go get some pizza. I go to the other guy who walks out 2 minutes later. I say the exact same thing to him. Hey, man, you got to be the bigger person. That guy, what he said, I was crazy. You see that pizza place on the other block, the other way? Here, why don't you go get some pizza? I'm telling you, everyone's going to respect you. Look, that guy's crazy. The bouncer saw me do that. I got in for free the rest of my time in college to that bar, and without any cover. And that's because everybody wants to be the bigger person. They want to have the moral high ground. Not Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs definitely doesn't want the moral high ground. He just said it. He's never the bigger person. That is crazy. That is exactly what Jair Alexander was saying. He's acting like a kid. He's not mature enough to even be one of these drunk college guys that I was able to convince to not get in a fight.
Well, that's to your point, Fish,
immature.
is what exactly it takes a bigger person to walk away and just be like, all right, I get it. Walk away, be the bigger person. Like, you hear us like, oh, I fought this person. I go, you could have just turned the other cheek, per se, not in Speedy's way, but
no, he likes to turn a lot of different cheeks.
Yeah, when his dog's there too, you just never know. And to walk away from a situation and diffuse it than to escalate it. Like, it takes a bigger person to walk away instead of escalating. And it's like, but my whole thing too is, what do I have to prove? We're both in the same situation. Like, I'm no better than you just because you're here and I'm here and I'm that. Like, no, we're the same. I still put my britches on the same way you do. I still pee the same way. Sometimes I sit down in the morning when I'm tired.
You can piss on your hands like Jorge Posada did.
Yeah, you got to get rid of the calluses. I mean, I'll pee in the sink. It's just everybody does a little bit different, but we do it the same way. And so, yeah, no, I mean, Fish, you're right in the aspect of him never and him admitting that he doesn't do that is ballsy. Like, okay, you're that dude. We get it.
By the way, before we get off the topic, I'm so happy that his brother Stefon Diggs is having one of the worst seasons in the NFL right now at cornerback. He's got a 51 PFF grade, which is below starting average numbers.
Why did you draft him?
I'm glad he sucks. I don't take guys in the Diggs family if I can avoid it. But I took Stefon Diggs late in one draft, but let's face it, it's not working out. It's just not working out for him, not working out for any of my fantasy teams. And it's certainly not working out for the Texans after this latest loss and not having no offense. I mean, CJ Stroud, it was under 100 yards, man. Under 100 yards without Nico Collins.
I knew this was going to happen this sophomore year. I knew this sophomore year was going to happen, but the kid's going to figure it out. He's special. And I think if there's anybody that's going to, compete against a guy like Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, as far as the quarterback play, I think it's him. I think he is the future of the NFL, especially in the AFC. There's no question. All right. Your thoughts, Scoops, with this story?
Yeah, we might not know what was said. Trash talk is a part of the game. DK and one of the Niners back was going at it the other day. It was going back and forth, but it's about respect. And like Jabba was going on about it, saying like it's a huge part of the game, respect. I mean, a veteran like him, especially like him, should conduct himself a lot better. I mean, you are a grown man disrespecting another grown man. If he was to be walking down the street and somebody was to disrespect him, that wouldn't be okay. The same way, you guys both suit up, you guys both put your heart and soul every single day throughout the week, then to come and put everything you have on the football field come Sunday, it's about it going both ways. And for the way that Stefon Diggs, like Fish was saying, for him to come out and ballsly say it, it's just making him seem like very childish and very immature. That it's honestly really silly. So
yeah, well, if somebody has to cry, and why not Stefon Diggs be the one that's going to be crying? He's nothing but there it is, right there. There it is.
Are you a meat bender?
Are you a meat bender, Speedy?
I don't know. Stefon Diggs might be.
Would you hang out with him if he was a meat bender?
That wouldn't matter.
Would you bend his meat?
No.
Why?
I'm not bending anyone's meat.
His meat would
I
be
don't
bent.
care.
It'd be open to bend.
I don't care.
Would you bend his meat?
No.
Why? What's
No,
wrong with his
I'm going
meat?
to go to
Isn't
Texas.
that Deshaun Watson? He would bend his meat, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
he can
Deshaun
hang out
Watson
with-
might bend Stefon Diggs' meat. Sure. Job, I wouldn't. Or they even care about some random dude.
Could you imagine them hanging out and they come out of the same room and be like, "What are you guys doing?" And I was just bending the meat.
They were probably at a P. Diddy party or something.
Oh,
You never
my
know.
Let me tell you something. Those parties would have been so interesting, especially with Justin Bieber there.
Oh,
I don't want to care about either one of those people. Or Deshaun Watson, for that matter.
Would you let him sing to your meat?
No.
Why? Justin Bieber?
I don't care.
What happens if he sang to your meat?
Then he's unstable and needs help.
have you listened to Speedy? Have you listened to any P. Diddy songs? No. Give us one. Give us one.
I'm not singing any of this crap.
All right, one more story before we go. There was a lot of controversy at the end of the WNBA Finals in Game 5. A win or go home game for the Lynx and the Liberty. The Liberty were down 2 with 5.2 seconds left and got the benefit of a controversial foul call on Brianna Stewart, who made both free throws to force the overtime. Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve said that the referee stole that championship from them. LeBron also called out the officiating, saying they should let players determine the outcome. They shouldn't let players determine the outcome. Stephen A. Smith said to Reeve, should stop crying when the Lynx should have won game number 3. Many people believe that the referees wanted overtime and that the series was rigged for the New York team. The Liberty won their first WNBA championship, winning 67-62 in the overtime. could we stop this? Now, I do believe professional sports is rigged, and maybe the WNBA wanted to see the Liberty win their first title. Honestly, the fact is, it went to overtime, right? Did it not go to overtime?
Yep.
So if it went to overtime, it means that they had a chance to win the game. All right? Don't blame the referees. This is the same thing that we go back from a player that's playing for Indiana. You know who I'm talking about, Speedy? Who am I talking about?
A player that's playing for Indiana.
Indiana right now. Indiana women's team. Come on.
Yes.
Come on. Caitlin Clark. Come on. Could you spit it out? Why do I have to wait for you? Are you meat bending right now? Are you lost?
I was going for a grand intro here.
Well, there's no grand intro when it comes to a woman that's getting beaten up by the WNBA and every single WNBA player that's been in the game. She helped bring the WNBA to higher heights. Nobody gave a crap who won the championship, the WNBA championship. Do you remember the last time? Honestly, do you remember the last time where a headline story has anything to do with the WNBA championship? No. You know why? Because of Caitlin freaking Clark. That's why. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The Lynx, the organization as a whole, I love what's going on with the WNBA. I love this competitiveness and this notion that, everybody thinks that one team is getting a push from the league and the other team is not. This is the same thing that's going on with the Caitlin Clark story and who was the rookie of the year, okay? The fact is, Caitlin Clark played the whole season. And who's the other one that was who's the other one?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. She was the other one that couldn't stay healthy all season long. She was out for the last 5-6 weeks of the season. Even if Angel Reese was right there with Caitlin Clark played the whole season. And Indiana actually made the playoffs. The Indiana team that was one of the worst teams, it was the worst team in the WNBA last year, made that run. And what Caitlin Clark did was absolutely sensational. As far as the Liberty is concerned, congratulations to the Liberty for winning their first title. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? The fact is that you want to see the WNBA keep growing, and the only way it's going to keep growing is with superstars. And you have a superstar there that every single player has bashed over the last 6 months. It's shameful what is going on right now in the WNBA. You finally got a good TV deal. You finally are seeing a girl get a shoe deal like Caitlin Clark got this past year. It opens up the door for some of these young girls. It opens up the door where you don't have to go overseas to make more money. Why is everybody bitching? This should be a celebration. Who cares if the Lynx won? Who cares if the Liberty won? It's a celebration for the growth of the WNBA. Stop with this crap. It is not the NFL. It is not the NHL or the NBA or any of those leagues. Stop with this bull crap.
Yeah, I also think too, like if it was quote unquote rigged for all these big cities, like why is it their first championship? Like that kind of claim when the Lynx have won, I think 3 championships, like New York, it's New York, so they're going to rig it for him. No. Also, Fish, I was discussing with this before. There was a foul discrepancy that was just as bad in game number 4. Like, the Lynx got a lot more, like 10 more fouls than the Liberty did in game 4. So you're going to nitpick over this one. Now, on live play, I didn't think it was a foul, but watching that replay, I could see where the contact came from. It wasn't enough to force overtime. Like Errol was saying, like, you didn't score a bucket in overtime. You could have won in overtime. You lost by 5. It took forever to score. Like, that's on you for that kind of thing. Now LeBron, on the other hand, too. Let the player dictate the game.
Did you see what I tried to do? I didn't even want to bring up LeBron. Okay. I don't need LeBron opening his big fat mouth about his thoughts about this game and determining what should have happened. That's the problem with LeBron. Keep to your own game. Concentrate on your own crap. Yeah. How about talk about the Lakers and how bad they're going to be this year because you have JJ friggin' Redick coaching your team. Okay, give me a break. Worry about Bronny, comparing Bronny to Michael Jordan. That's shameful. Anybody coming out and trying to compare. Oh, I'm sorry. Kendrick Perkins coming out and saying, saying that Bronny looks like a young Michael Jordan. What a ridiculous statement. Who are you sucking, Kendrick? I mean, seriously, it is ridiculous. Maybe he should hang out with, half of those guys, the Crafts of the world and Deshaun Watson. That would make more sense because he likes to grab things and chew things. And, become a meat bender like you, Speedy.
Well, yeah, and LeBron is a meat bender hypocrite when it comes to he wants to bend things in his own favor when he wants to go to the line and whine about calls all the time too. And
He likes to bend your rim.
When the Lakers get eliminated in the postseason, what's a story that we talk about? Oh, LeBron files to the replay room and takes shots at them when he's not even in the playoffs, and yet now he's complaining about this. Yeah, LeBron, you want to complain about the refs all the time too. Yeah, you're the biggest hypocrite of all. Oh,
Speedy, I have a question for you. Would you let LeBron give you a rim job?
No.
Why?
I'm not letting that man.
But it's a rim. It's a
I don't
rim job.
care. I don't care.
Did you think about, it's LeBron James giving you a rim job?
Yeah, he's huge.
He'll sign your rim.
He's huge.
He'll sign it.
No thanks.
You don't want him to sign it?
No thanks.
Why?
Huge. He's huge. I don't need him doing that.
You wouldn't let him give you a rim job?
No.
Would you let anybody give you a rim job?
Not somebody that big.
I think it goes back to kind of what we've touched on too, is like the respect factor. Like you saw Sue Bird go in on Caitlyn, like, oh, this, she didn't do anything. Like, wouldn't you want to like uplift her and like grow the sport?
Yeah.
Bailey, shut up.
No, Errol has been saying that for a while.
He agrees with you.
Yeah.
But,
And my point is, like, why wouldn't you want them to like uplift somebody that's bringing more attention to your sport and getting more viewership, getting more sponsors, getting everything, and like just at the end of the day, give credit where credit's due. You don't have to like them. At the same time, when we were talking about Stefon, like, you ain't gotta like the dude, but give credit where credit's due. It's about respect and the understanding of you're trying to grow a sport that nobody watches. And you brought up a great point where I'm like, I didn't even know the championship was going on, but I damn did watch an Indiana Fever game in the first round against Connecticut. I did watch it, and I didn't care otherwise. And that's what she's created. Mind you, I'm a homer because I'm in Nebraska and she went to Iowa, so I got to see her a lot. But she
I like
did.
to see her because she's fun to watch. Period.
Yeah, I guess the best comparison that I've kind of heard is she's Steph Curry of women's basketball, which
100%.
Yeah, and she pulls from anywhere, and it's fun to watch.
Speedy pulls from everywhere too, right, Speedy?
She has a much better success rate.
Yeah, he just
I wasn't pulling anything.
Speedy just can't do it in public.
Nor would I attempt to.
She's got a better success rate.
But also at the same time, it's like not only was Caitlin Clark great scoring, she made her team better.
Yeah.
She set the assist record. Like, and you're breaking these. You know who pissed me off the most when I kept seeing them on all platforms? Cheryl Swoops. Like, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if you're black, white, brown, yellow, green, purple. Give credit where credit's due. I don't.
Diana Taurasi too. I couldn't stand Diana Taurasi this year. She is so despicable. She is such a hater. I don't want to hear Diana Taurasi open her mouth. You know what it is she's not a lesbian. That's the truth. She's not a lesbian, and she's not African American, and that's the hatred here. It's why can't it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter who you're sleeping with or whatever you're with. We understand what the game is growing to. Why can't everybody just understand that the game is going to heights that it never has been? And it's because of her success and where she has gone with the game, where she's taking the game. I think the WNBA, it's not only growing, these girls are not going to have to travel overseas anymore. They're going to make a ton of money. It's great to watch a sport finally just get its, respect. And to me, it's
and not have to take anything illegal over there and 100%. Be locked up.
100%. I mean, well, that's a whole nother thing. She said some interesting things about Caitlin Clark too, and that she didn't want her to play for the United States team either. I mean, what is the hatred here on Caitlin Clark?
You're the one who went overseas and kneeled for our anthem and then want everybody to bail you out. Like, let's just be honest. Like, you don't want her to play. Like, oh, there's no rapport, she hasn't earned it. Your ratings were down.
Mhm.
Like, let's spit facts. Let's just show what it is. Like, she had an impact that nobody else. I'm not watching Brittany Griner. Sorry. Are you a good athlete? Great. Have I met you? Yes. She came to a Yankee game and took a picture with her. But I'm not watching. You don't bring anything that.
You haven't seen.
No. But I get somebody coming across half court and pulls up and is money and makes her team better. And does she run her mouth? Yeah. But what athlete isn't running their mouth in some way? Like, I remember when I got thrown out, I told Joe West he was a you know what, and that was obviously the magic words, smell ya. I was like, I'm out of the game already anyways. So but I
Speedy, have
just
you ever done this before? Like you take your 2 fingers and smell them? You ever do that?
Yeah. What does it prove?
But have you ever done it?
Yes. What's your point?
So you do
that's
what's
the
the
move
point?
you do before you go to work. You know what I'm saying? Before you go to work, it's one of these, and all right, let's go.
Let me double down on what you said, Java. Today, the WNBA Players Association opted out of their CBA. I wonder why. Oh, because Caitlin Clark's brought all the visibility and they're going to make twice as much money now. Why are you not thanking her? This is the problem. They're hating on her because what she's doing makes it seem like all the past accolades of people like Sue Bird and people like Brittany Griner and Cheryl Swoops seem like nothing because she's doing things that are above what they were able to do on the public eye.
Mhm.
And they're very jealous and resentful. That's what I see. And at the same time, she's making everybody a lot more money because of this visibility. They should be thanking her. They should be bending over backwards and pulling for her.
Did you ever
That's
remember when they did the first ever match between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson?
Yep, I remember that
Yeah.
very well. Yes.
That documentary, and Phil Mickelson, he goes, the only reason I have my own private jet is because of Tiger Woods. And now all these other guys are saying that, like, getting paid to do all this, like, nobody is putting anybody down. It's like, we're not taking away from the Lisa Leslies of the world, the Cheryl Swoops. We're not, I mean, they just didn't have the viewership and everything because so why not now when you have a young person that comes in and has that and adds a dynamic? She's not taking over your league. She is contributing, making everybody more money. Now they're getting on private planes. Like, give her the credit. Like, she's not taking anything away from any of you. She is literally adding value to everything that you have done and built for this organization. She is adding value to it. She's not talking mess like, oh, I'm better than Lisa Leslie and I'm better than X, Y, and Z. And as somebody as an ambassador of your sport, I don't care who and what you are. If it adds value to the game of baseball, because that's what I played as a profession. That's it. So that's all I can speak on in this realm. I would praise him. I would praise him and be like, look what Shohei Ohtani's done. He's brought global stuff in and more money, and what the contracts have done, and what you exactly hit the nail on the head, Fish. They got out of their CBA because they know now, oh, we can make more money. But what is the game of baseball done too in that aspect? It's like everybody's set a precedent. And you know what? I praise every single one of those guys because you know what? They set a benchmark for the kid that's going to come and have an opportunity to make that much money too.
Interesting. It's very interesting. All right, Scoops. Final take. What are your thoughts?
So yeah, going off of the Liberty here. Basically, I watched the game a little bit, and yeah, the Lynx, they made the WNBA Finals and all, but they were playing pretty bad this game. They didn't play like they wanted to win at all. Their best player was like 0 for 8 on final shots in the fourth quarter and the overtime combined. So even if there was like this call that I'm missing here, that like a call that, or being robbed by the refs as they called it here, they played terrible. They played terrible that they didn't even want to win. So all these haters coming forward about the controversial ending. Why is it that this is the headline that we're seeing? Why is it that this is what we're actually seeing? Why is it that this is what we're actually talking about and not saying that there was actually a good game? And overall, what you guys were just mentioning, the success that the WNBA had as a whole this season. And did you guys see how full Barclays was yesterday? Did you guys see how many the celebrities there? You had Karl Anthony Towns, Spike Lee on all fours over there.
Spike Lee was practically out on the court.
Yeah, you saw that, right? So, I mean, the fact that this is what we're actually saying as like a headline story, the fact that this is what we're actually choosing to talk about, and that the haters are there, like just the fact that the haters are there to hate once there's something to hate on is just absolutely mind-boggling. So that's all I gotta say.
It's like the end of those Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. It was a foul, like with the Bradbury holding penalty. It might have been a foul. It was soft, but I could see where it's a foul. And to say it's rigged, I think is ridiculous. Maybe the league wanted it to get overtime.
And you know what's so funny about Cheryl Reeve? And she's been the most outspoken person when it comes to the whole Caitlin Clark thing, especially in the preseason. She was one of those people that says it takes a team. It doesn't take one player to be prolific or to bring stardom to league early. Right. Well, why hasn't there been stardom ever since, all these years with all the great players, the Lisa Leslies, the Cheryl Swoops, the Diana Taurasi's, all these people that we've mentioned over the years that are just big superstars from the WNBA, all those Connecticut superstar players and all that other stuff. Why weren't they bringing that superstardom? But this little girl who shoots threes and has brought a different young viewership of women that want to watch her play, to see what she is going to do every single night. Even the men. I said this best. I was at Miller's Ale House during an Indiana game, and there were guys wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys. Guys wearing Kate. Do you know that Caitlin Clark jersey in the last 6 months is one of the highest selling jerseys in all of sports? And men are buying it? Just think about that. Have you ever seen somebody wear a Cheryl Swoops jersey or even a Lisa Leslie jersey? I'm not buying one of those, but I would buy a Caitlin Clark because she stands for something. And if listen, I'm not a big Steph Curry fan. I think he's ruined the game of basketball when it comes to threes. But guess what he's brought to the NBA that other people didn't bring? He brought a youngster that believes that they can be another Steph Curry. They don't need to know how to jam. They don't need to jam the ball. All they got to know is how to shoot it. And that's what he's brought to the game for youngsters to come and want to watch. That's why his jersey is such a sellable jersey, and why the Golden State Warriors were such a popular team all these years. It's because of Steph, and that's it. So I just think that the WNBA has to, and the fans and the players, they have to band together behind this woman, because this woman is going to open up options for the league to make more money through television deals, sponsorships, and advertisements. And the players are going to finally get their respect that they've been wanting to have all these years. They're not ever going to be in the men's tier. But if you're making $2-3 million a year, why would you go over there to Spain or Portugal or one of these places when all you got to do is play 50 games in a WNBA season and make the money that you've been craving to make because of one person, Caitlin Clark? Just respect the ambassador she is for the game of basketball. Michael Jordan did it for the NBA, and why the NBA and all these players are getting all their shoe deals and complimentary offers that they're getting. The same thing goes to Caitlin Clark. She is going to deliver an opportunity to make more money than they can ever dream of. So,
and that's how you know you're old, Errol. You said he changed it.
Thank you, John.
Whatever.
But
you said jam and not dunk. Like, really? Like, what? This ain't NBA Jam, dog. Like, we're in the.
I like jam on my peanut butter jelly.
Century. Like,
I like my jam on my my peanut butter, not the
strawberry or grape.
I like the grape. Speedy, what do you like? What kind of jam?
Guy.
You like jam or jelly?
I'm not really that picky.
But what do you like?
I
Jam
don't
it?
care either way.
Pick one.
Jam.
Or why do you like to jam?
I don't know.
Do you like to jam yourself?
Because you can't
Finger
jelly it in. You can jam it.
How about finger popping? You ever do that before?
No.
You've never finger popped? Have you ever tried?
I don't know what it is.
You want to launch yourself in? Have you ever launched yourself in? Just launch. Launch.
No.
Like a launch pad.
I know what the concept is. Not something I've done.
Would you like to launch yourself?
Not like that.
How would you launch yourself?
Not like that.
But how would you launch?
I don't know. I haven't given it much thought.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Speedy Petey. He knows the concept, but he hasn't given it any thought. So, and he would rather jam himself, not jelly himself, right?
No.
Why?
I'm not jamming anything on myself.
Have you ever tried to mud wrestle?
No, I have played mud volleyball though.
How do you play mud volleyball?
It's outdoors. It's like
Naked?
It's like
Have
beach
you
volleyball.
played naked?
No, not naked. Outdoors, naked on a college campus.
That's good. I mean, it depends on who you're playing with, right? How many balls?
Nobody would allow that. That program would be shut down.
Oh my gosh.
How many balls would you hit?
It's a lot.
Oh God, we should make that. That would be fantastic.
And in black memory eraser.
All of the things in the graphics, Java, are things that were said by Speedy at some point in time
Oh, I love
on
it.
the show. So they just get turned into graphics.
What is your favorite
love it.
basketball movie? Is it the finger roll? Is it the finger roll? You like the finger roll?
Okay, what does that have to do with anything?
But do you like the finger roll? How do you do the finger roll? Could you show everybody? How do you do a
I
finger
don't
roll?
know.
Just do it. Just show us a finger roll.
All right.
So-
Just like that.
Why did he go to the side?
Yo, wait, he went like this too. He went.
Oh, he was tickling him too? He was tickling him?
Tickle,
Yeah,
Speedy.
finger
Do
roll.
the
He
do the
went-
tickle. Do the tickle, Speedy. Do the tickle.
Extra spin on the
Do the
ball.
tickle. Extra spin.
What is that? Some bad dance that didn't get invented in the 90s?
Yeah, it was either that or the Macarena, and they went Macarena.
Just missed the cut, I say.
Speedy's more like a Cotton Eye Joe guy, right?
Oh, what?
I can see
Cotton
that.
Eye Joe guy.
No.
You don't like Cotton Eye?
I don't
Joe?
know what that is.
Do you know what cotton is?
Do I know what cotton is?
Yeah. Well, have you ever taken cotton and wiped your ass with it?
Yeah. So what is that? What does that have anything to do with dancing?
Well, you need the cotton. You need. Let me ask you one more question before we let.
I'm glad you didn't ask Scoops that because that could have gone a different
I think
direction.
Scoops would give you the answer. I think he'd give you a straight up answer. Speedy likes to beat around the bush. You know, Speedy, this is a very important question for all the fans to know, and I think they're desperately waiting for the answer. You ready?
No, but God.
All right. Now, if you shaved your beard, okay? If you shaved your beard, and I'm not talking about the beard on your face. If you shaved your beard, what would you do with the hair?
Throw it out.
No, but what would you do? Would you
Throw it out.
Why would you throw it out?
'Cause it's dirty.
Then why do you have it? Why do you wear it?
What?
So why do
I'm
you
not
have it?
pulling follicles out.
You got your mop.
That's
your
much
hair,
more
like, would you do
painful.
This, that, or that. You got-
I'm not pulling follicles out.
That's much more.
You don't have a trimmer?
I do.
Oh, okay.
trim?
Just checking.
No, he doesn't trim. He doesn't trim in.
Do you hedge the bushes?
Oh God, you're gonna turn into him now. There's barely any hair on. You've had Errol's number for how many months, and he's already gotten you into that.
Tell him what you tell him what you say about me. Tell him.
Yeah. I see you've already gotten a Jabba. You've already been brainwashed.
He tells everybody that I brainwash him. That's what he says. My friends have fun with him. They love him. He tells me all the time that every time I'm around one of your friends, they ask me the same silly questions you ask. Why do you brainwash them? And I say, I don't brainwash them. They're asking you the question. So what's the answer?
Yeah, you got to bring a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Or Speedy will hit him with one of these. He'll be like,
You're the king of wishful thinking. Yeah, he is. He wants one of his random scenarios to happen.
Speedy, quickly.
It'll be like a milestone for him. For any awards he'll win in the radio industry. Speedy, do this. That'll be like a world accomplishment for him.
oh my God.
I got tears in my eyes. That clap was aggressive.
You got.
Yeah, that clap was aggressive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for our show. Oh my God. No guests, no problems. Oh man. Thank you to all the fans out there that listen to us throughout all the different platforms we're on. Keep listening to us. As you know, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the Sports Loudmouth. You can check us out. Go to YouTube if you want to check us out on YouTube, Worldwide Sports Radio Network, the Sports Loudmouth, and Sports Loudmouth Radio. So we have different platforms to check us out. TikTok, the Sports Loudmouth, and Worldwide Sports Radio Network. All the different platforms. You can check us out in many different areas. Go check us out. Twitter, ArrowMarks34. You can check out Jabba, obviously, right over there, Jabba_44. So check us out. Tune in as we will be on live on Wednesday. Who do we have on, Speedy?
All right, returning to the show at 8:30, our friend Eddie Lack, former goaltender in the NHL, now the Arizona State goalie coach. He also played with Johnny Gaudreau, so we'll get some stories in about him as well. So, and he'll be back on at 8:30, and for the first time on the show at 9 o'clock, Colin Cosell, who is the Mets PA announcer at Citi Field. I believe you told me he's the grandson of Howie
Grandson of Howie Cosell. And by the way, is a good friend of Anthony Andriosi. Okay. So I know Mr. Corsell, and very, very nice kid. And he's growing, and he's becoming one of the more popular PA announcers in Major League Baseball. So his grandfather was a great, respectful, one of the greatest broadcasters out there will ever know of. And Muhammad Ali said it best. He took broadcasting to a whole nother level. So looking forward to getting Colin on the show. But Jabba, first show in the books. What were your thoughts to the show?
No, everything was great. I mean, it's, obviously having people on that understand and the back and forth, and I love the tangents, and I love everything about it. So looking forward to continuing to grow. And it was a fun show, and you don't really realize how fast it goes because it's just everything is just back and forth, and everybody's different perspectives, where you start thinking about different things and different perspectives because we all have our own. And no, I thought it went great. Didn't plan on it going this long, but like you said, you never know what's going to happen, and that's the best part about the show.
Absolutely. And again, we really appreciate, and by the way, some of the new callers, not new callers, the new listeners. I know a lot of listeners texted me saying, I loved it. This is a great show. I never even knew about it, but thank you to all the fans out there, the new fans that are tuning into us, all the downloads, 25,414 last month that downloaded our show on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and keep doing it as we grow. And thank you to our marketing team over there and everybody for, putting it out there and letting people see what we do and what we do best. And I do believe we're the best. So we plan to prove that in the very near future. So thank you. As always, we'll be back Wednesday. All I got to say is so long, farewell, and Speedy, go home.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.